the fear of individuals just going about their lives in the streets. We came here to see the conditions inside, and those conditions aren't bad. We don't know that everyone who is inside belongs there, but we knew that people are okay, they're safe, it's clean, they're feeding them. ICE is out of control. ICE thinks it can intimidate all of us, and it cannot intimidate any of us. And we, the people, will make sure that this administration adheres to the rules that separate us from dictatorships in other third world countries. And I've spoken much too long. Let me turn this over to LaMonica. I guess because I'm the oldest and I'm the angriest.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Bonnie Watson Coleman. First of all, I want to start by thanking my colleagues for being here with me today, both Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman and, of course, Congressman Rob Menendez for being here. Look, we came here simply to perform our oversight duties. That is why we came here. There is a law that says that we are able to do that as members of Congress, and that is what we got here to do. As soon as we got here, we were met with opposition. People were telling us that they're getting a supervisor, that they're going to get someone to come talk with us. We waited and waited. Finally, we went past the gate, and then we had to wait longer. We actually waited over 2 hours to get into this facility just to do a simple oversight visit. They say nothing is wrong with the prison, with this detention center, that we can get in here, that everything, they're following orders. But once again, they delayed us from getting in here to see this facility. We waited in the waiting area for a very long time, talked to many staff members, talked to the warden of this location, and literally still waiting for ICE officials to get here. What all of you watch occurred is just how reckless ICE is. It is unacceptable that me, as a member of Congress, as a Black woman here in this city, was just assaulted by multiple ICE officers while regional directors of ICE watched it happen. Since we toured the whole facility with them, no one offered an apology or said anything to me about what occurred out here. Not only was I assaulted, but Congressman Bonnie Watson was assaulted, and of course, Congressman Rob Menendez was roughed up as he was trying to protect us. It makes no sense, and it is highly unacceptable how this administration is trying to restrict Congress from doing their bare duties and the responsibilities that the people have elected us to do. What we just witnessed was just disgusting. I am very upset, I am very angry, and I am very hurt that they could be able to do something like that to us. These are people who are supposed to be officers, who are supposed to protect us, and they have done none of that. If they can treat 3 members of Congress like that, just imagine how they can treat people on the street each and every day, both undocumented and people who are citizens here in this country. It makes absolutely no sense to arrest the mayor of the largest city of this state who did nothing wrong. He went inside of the gate and told them that he was waiting for us to come out because we were conducting an oversight visit. They asked him to leave. He left out of the gate. Instead of the ICE officials that were here, who were supposed to be here to lead us on a tour, they then came out to have a huddle to talk about how the mayor was inside and that he should be arrested still because he was inside. They then came back out after the mayor was out here with you all, some of you out here. They then left us still. We're waiting for a visit to come back out here and arrest the mayor who had already left off of their property from behind the gate. What we see here is despicable, and we should all be angry. This is unacceptable, and we should not allow this to be happening. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Rob Menendez.
I can't begin to describe what happened here today. It started as part of our core functions as members of Congress to conduct oversight of ICE and privately run detention centers, where we waited patiently for over an hour and a half. Just waited to do what we've done together at Elizabeth Detention Center. We waited. And then we only saw action taking place outside where we were waiting, not knowing what was happening. We walked out to see what was going on. We saw Mayor Baraka out here by himself, mayor of the largest city in New Jersey, waiting for us to come back. ICE brought to meet the mayor of Newark over 20 armed individuals. 20 armed individuals to confront the mayor of Newark, along with 3 members of Congress. It was an act of intimidation. It was an act of intimidation not just to the mayor, not just to us, but to everyone watching. We know what ICE has been doing in our communities. We know that the president lied and this administration lies every day when they're saying they're going after criminals. It is not true. They feel no weight of the law. They feel no restraint on what they should be doing. And that was shown in broad daylight today when they not just arrested the mayor of Newark, but when they put their hands on 2 members of Congress who are standing behind me. How is this acceptable to anyone in this country? How is this acceptable? I fight along with these 2 incredible women every day for the people of New Jersey. We fight for the country that we should be. What we saw today is the country that we live in under Donald Trump and his Department of Homeland Security, under his ICE, does not reflect who we are as a country. It reflects everything wrong with the moment that we're in. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable and should shake every American to the core, to their core, to our collective core, that this happened today here in the city of Newark, the most inclusive city in New Jersey, with the mayor who represents the city, with the congresswoman who represents the city, and with Bonnie Watson-Coleman, who's fought for the people of New Jersey her entire distinguished career. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. And it should be unacceptable to every single person that's watching today. This will not be the end of it. It will not be the end of it when we leave here. It will not be the end of it when we go find Mayor Baraka. It will not be the end of it when we go home tonight. The fight continues. It will continue until we correct the course that we are on.
We are going to leave here and we are going to where they are holding the mayor.
Okay, I think we've heard from all of them. A very emotional Robert Menendez Jr. And there were descriptions of assault that happened to these 3 individuals. At the moment, they appeared to be okay as they were railing against this ICE detention facility and their treatment there.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.